Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nickel.
Thank you so much for dropping in on Series 7. This is an exciting series where I check in with Team Canada's Paralympic athletes. We've heard a lot of amazing stories, and they've shared their Paralympic moments with us. And this is our last guest that we will have on this series, Series 7. This is episode 69, and let me introduce the guests that we will be dropping in with today. Our next guest is a father of two who has several World Championship All-Star awards. He is a Pan American Games champion and has competed at 4 Paralympic Games for Team Canada. Beijing 2008 taking home the bronze, London 2012 taking home the silver, Rio 2016 in 4th place, and Tokyo, the COVID kind of games, 2021 taking 5th place. He was injured in a car accident at the age of 16, paralyzed below the neck, and he is a 1.0 player based on level of function, playing 4-on-4 on the court of wheelchair rugby. And now, how do you get those 4 players on the court? That's something that I wanted to know, and I think you want to know too. The 4 players can only total 8 points, 3.5 points being the highest level of function, and 0.5 being the lowest form of function. He, our guest, is considered to be one of the best low point players in the world. He is co-captain of Team Canada's national team. He has recently competed in the 2021, get this, World Para Surfing Championships, adding that to his impressive resume. This dad, husband, wheelchair rugby player is a world champion, Parapan Am Games and Paralympic medalist, and now a para surfer. Doesn't sound like he's done yet. Let me introduce and welcome Trevor Hirschfield. Trevor,
Thanks for having me.
nice to see you.
It's great to see you. It's been a while.
I can't wait to talk about everything that you've been up to. I mean, you've had a Paralympics as of late, and then also surfing. When I read that, I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah, I got bored over COVID, so
So wicked.
tried something new.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, thank you so much for dropping in today. We start dropping in with 10 rapid fire questions that are never rapid. Our listeners know this. We just get to know you a little bit better. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, number 1, do you have a lucky charm?
I don't necessarily have a lucky charm, but there are certain things that I do consistently before I play games. Yes. So
Right.
I have a
Yeah.
routine. Yeah.
Yeah, a routine. Cool. Yeah. It's funny, everyone, I've asked all of the guests on this series the same questions, and I'm so interested to know, like, a lot of people say they have a routine. Some people do have a lucky charm. I think I did a little bit of both when I was competing.
I guess I don't really think of it, but I taped my first. So you know how we get a loonie when we go to the games?
Yeah,
In like the whatever
in
the
your
clothing
kit.
package in the kit.
Yeah.
So from my first games, the one in Beijing, I still have that same loonie taped to the bottom of my rugby chair. So yeah, that's one thing that I have, I guess. But I forget about it because I never really see it.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. A lot of the freestyle skiers or like the snowboard coaches will put them in like one of the jumps on the slopestyle course, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like even not in Canada, it's just like there's our loony.
It's
That's
kind of
cool.
our thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, number 2, what is the favorite place that you have traveled to for a game and then also just for pleasure?
I mean, most recently, Tokyo, like, it's too bad it was a COVID game, but they still did a great job. Like, I would have loved to seen those games, under the normal umbrella to see all the fans because it was pretty well put together, and
Mhm.
it would have been nice to have the fans involved. I think one of my favorite games though was in London in
Oh,
2012. I thought they
yeah.
just did an amazing job. It was nice having the venue so close to the village too. So it was just super cool. Lots of family and friends were there, and
It makes
it
a
was nice
difference.
to have that support. course it is.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
And then just for pleasure, when you go traveling, do you have a favorite place to go?
Anywhere hot. I love tropical weather. So one of my favorite places I've been was Fiji, and
I've
I'm
never
definitely going
been.
back. Yes, you must go. I spent 3 weeks there, and it's amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I did like a book report in grade 6 on Fiji, and I haven't gone, and I've wanted to go since. That's so
Definitely going back. Yeah, the South Pacific, like Tonga, Fiji, those places.
oh,
Yeah, I
sick.
love the
Did you take
ocean.
the whole
So,
family?
no,
No.
just Lisa and I went, and it was
Nice.
good. Yeah, it was well before the family
Okay.
was here. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Nice. Okay, for the listeners, number 3, where in the world are you today?
Today, I'm on Vancouver Island in a nice little town called Parksville.
I
So
was just in
ended up.
Nashville.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I grew up here.
I
I
like
was
it
born
there.
in Langley, BC,
Yeah.
and my family moved to the island when I was grade 8. So I did
Okay.
most of my growing up here. A lot of my friends are still around the area. So just before COVID, ended up moving back to Parksville from the city. Yeah.
Oh, from the city. Yeah, you were in the city
Yeah, I
before.
was living in Kits for a while, Richmond, Kits, and then
Okay.
decided to come back to the island
'Cause
for
it's
that
sick
free
over
babysitting.
there.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
my parents are still here too, so
there you go, there you go, free babysitting.
yeah.
Okay, so then this is part 2 of this question. Um, Big city or small town kinda guy?
Oh, I love the city and everything it has to offer, especially when it comes to food and restaurants and things to do. But I love the island. I love the
Yeah.
ocean, the lakes, the rivers that are here. So I think I'm an island guy.
My brother just took me in, some of the lakes there. They are really cool. We did,
Yeah,
like, a
they're
clay
everywhere too.
cleaning. We did clay, like
Okay.
we
Where'd
had
you end up
a
going?
man spa day. I couldn't tell you if I knew.
Okay.
But it was awesome. I would go back. And then there's,
Yeah.
like, kind of like these rapids that you can kinda swim in too.
Yeah, we have tons of like rivers where we can, you can tube down, spend the day tubing down the river or
So
just
cool,
go to a
so cool.
lake. And yeah.
Alright, you went from big city to small town. You
Yeah.
went small town, big city, small town. I like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, number 4. I have seen you in the gym when I worked out at Richmond. This question is more for me than anyone else. In the gym, would you rather have music blaring in your headphones or hear yourself breathing?
Oh, it depends on certain things. So if I'm with like group training,
Yeah,
I don't need my headphones on. I like to converse,
hear it.
have fun, joke around.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the music going because everyone likes to dance.
Yeah,
But if I'm by myself and I just got to get it done, I just put them on
yeah.
just
I'm the
to,
same.
yeah, just to get it done. No one's gonna bug you. Everyone kind of sees that as like, hey, this person's
You're in the zone.
focused. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
for
depends
sure.
what situation I'm in.
Nice. How often do you train with the team?
Uh, we're actually together quite a bit, at
Mhm.
least once a month.
Okay.
Um, we're going into World Championships here at the beginning of October, so we've been quite busy for uh, the year so far. Yeah,
Yes, that's so exciting.
yeah. So we
Another
do get
road trip.
together quite a bit, but when I'm at home here, I train on my own since I moved to the island.
Yeah,
So, and that's fine for me.
yeah, that's good. Family. You got family,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Okay, number 5, favorite wheelchair rugby game ever, if you had to choose? I know there's been a lot.
Uh, I think it would probably have to go back to the London Games in 2012,
Yeah.
where we beat the US in the semifinals. And I don't think we'd beaten the US since I'd been on that team for however many years. So
Is that a
to get
rivalry as well? Like, is that
oh,
always
of
a
course it
rivalry?
is. It doesn't matter what sport you're in.
Yeah, it's
Canada
kinda
US is always a rivalry, and it still is.
yeah.
And especially back then, our teams were just, I think we were definitely underdogs there, and we usually are going into those games. whenever we play
Okay.
the US. So that
Sick.
game, to get that win and then go on to the gold medal game, was pretty. It's again with all the family and friends, was pretty special.
So nice. Awesome. All right, number 6, you are a family man. We mentioned that you have 2 kids. You also have a lovely wife. Where did you meet her?
Met her at a hotel in Victoria. She was the waitress.
Oh, yes! I love it, I love it, I love
We were there for a
it.
training camp. We used to spend some time in Victoria at Pisces for
Okay,
training camps, and we were staying at a hotel there. Yeah,
nice. She's a keeper.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, number 7, what would be the top place in Canada for you to train?
To train right now would probably have to be Toronto at TPASC. There's just such a big group of guys on the national team out
Yeah,
of Toronto right now. So I think
okay.
just that training environment is so high performance right now that if I had to choose a place, it would be there.
Sweet. I had, so Bo Hedges, I know wheelchair basketball, not the same as rugby, but I know you guys know each other, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's in Toronto, and he was like, I loved having him on. He was talking about you. We were talking about you. Do you guys see each other a lot?
We
Like,
cross paths here and there. I mean, I did some time with Athletes Can,
yeah,
and I know Bo. I don't know if he's still on the
he's still
board.
on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so I
think he's
mean,
vice president.
yeah, so him and I, our
Yeah,
paths crossed there, and then obviously, the Paralympic community is so small
yeah. Like, do you
that
guys
with
train in the
events
same
here and
area?
there. No, no,
No, it's very different.
never really. I mean, maybe in Richmond once or twice he
Okay.
would come in, but most of his time um, when he's not in Toronto, I think is spent at his family
It's
farm.
a farm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just
So
wasn't
he's
sure
not.
if
He's
like wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby ever coincides.
I mean, outside of TPAS, not really,
Yeah,
because the
that's
training
interesting.
environments are too different. And then, I mean, but when we're at games,
Then you get to see
I think,
everyone.
yeah, I think when it comes to wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, you have that team dynamic. So
Yeah,
we're all super supportive of each other, along with
awesome.
every other sport. But I think that's something that we share a lot is that whole
For sure.
team vibe. So yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Single sport. No, we still compete like a team. Like we're all friends, which is rad. Number 8, if you are not training, what can we find you doing?
Oh man, right now if I'm not training, I'm probably chasing after the 2 kids right now.
Yeah.
A lot of time at home is spent with them and taking advantage of that, especially with all the time traveling. So
Yeah.
a lot of the summer's been spent at the beach or at a lake or at a river or riding bikes around. So
Perfect.
that's what I'm doing when I'm not training right now.
Nice. That
So,
sounds like a good time.
oh, hey, it's a good time, but man, it'll tire you out.
Yeah. Yes. Number 9. How did the pandemic change your training?
I think it just forced me to be creative.
Mm,
Lots of things shut down. You weren't able to get anything. Luckily, it was kind of when those things started shutting down, it was, the time of year where you're able to get outside. It's not as
yeah.
rainy. So a lot of the stuff, I was able to still get in my rugby chair and, find a place to push outside. I ended up getting a storage unit and kind of turning it into a gym. So
Oh,
there
sick.
was these storage units around here, and then there I got a rowing erg and like a hand cycle, and put some mats in and got some free weights. So I kind of had like a place to go,
Yeah.
and then the grounds that it was on was all asphalt, so I was still able to push my rugby chair around outside.
Amazing. I,
So
I love how creative everyone got. I think that's really cool.
yeah, and that's what it kind of forced us to do, and I'm still using that storage unit, quite regularly, just as far as like an
To your
outdoor
office.
space to push. Yeah, and like I got a bunch of equipment in there, so
Nice.
yeah, it's been fun. It's kind of my own
Really
little
cool.
place to go. Yeah.
Wicked. Okay, last of the rapid fire that are never rapid. Um, obviously, the 2020 games were postponed, and they were there's a global pandemic going on. We all know about that. How did you feel going into what I don't know if I'm allowed to call them the COVID Paralympics, but how did you feel going into those? Like, were you prepared, nervous?
Yeah, I think our team was, about as prepared as you could be going into that.
Mhm.
We were able to get some games against other countries. Prior to that, um, we did go to Japan once before
Uh-huh.
the games, so like during the whole COVID thing, so we were kind of prepared as far as what to expect as protocols and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think for us, it was just you know the small things that was the difference between us, playing for a medal and then being out of the top four.
Uh,
So it's a bit of a hard pill to swallow, but
yeah.
um, yeah, I think as far as being prepared for those games, we made the best of what we could.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
and not to, like, lessen this, but you guys play same as wheelchair basketball throughout the whole games, correct?
No, so um, we don't have the same size pool as wheelchair basketball. So ours is
Oh,
actually
okay.
only a 5-day tournament because there's only 8 teams.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so we play one game a day
Yeah.
over those 5 days. Yeah. So it,
Oh,
it was
sick.
actually, yeah, it was pretty cool. The venue was great.
Were you guys early or were you late? Like, did you do opening ceremonies? Is that something you guys team does?
Yeah, so we were late. We were the second. Nope, sorry, we
The
were the
second
first
wave.
week. We were the first
Okay.
week. We were usually the second week. This was the first
Oh.
time we were the first week. Yeah.
Isn't it weird when they well, say hold on first. Thank you for doing the rapid fire. Now we're just gonna talk about Paralympic experiences. But isn't it weird how they, like, change the schedule sometimes? Because you've gone to 4 now, and I am always surprised at when they, like, change things up.
Yeah, this was the first time we played in the first week. We were actually super excited to like get to the games, and this is
Yeah,
obviously before COVID, but to get there, play, and then have time to like go watch other sports
right?
because we're usually there for the first week and we're training and you're
Yeah.
doing everything you can, meetings, game prep, stuff like that. So you don't have a whole lot of time to go check out other
S
sports when
so
we
wait,
play in the second week.
when you were in the 2nd week, would you fly in and, like, did your team decide to do opening ceremonies, or would you come later after opening ceremonies?
No, we would fly in, do opening ceremonies. So
Okay.
we would usually fly in to somewhere else and kind of do a staging camp.
Yeah,
And then we would come in to the games and do opening. And then in that first week, we would have, time at the venue or at a different venue, a training venue,
right.
because there's usually another sport in the venue we're in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then that sport would finish. And then we would have, usually two training times on the actual competition venue,
Yeah,
and that would be all the technical side of it where they would look at our chairs and make sure everything was safe and
oh, that's
within the
something
rules.
I didn't think about. They do that with our helmets and everything,
Yeah,
but
so
yeah,
with our rugby chairs, they have to fall within like certain measurement guidelines
okay.
and safety aspects.
Yeah,
So before with those 2 days in the competition venue prior to the competition starting,
yeah.
we do what we call like chair measurements, and the officials just go through our chairs, and there's a checklist. So that gets done in
Cool.
that time. Yeah, and then it's on to the competition.
Wait, does anyone ever get, like, booted because of their chair?
No one gets booted, but it's like, okay, these are like things that you need to change or fix based on whatever it might
Oh,
be.
okay, okay. What would be, like, something of a chair that because I have no idea. What would be something that would have to be changed?
So some of the safety things would be like we have a bar on the back of the chair that kind of
Yeah.
supports the two backrest bars.
Yeah.
and that has to be with within a certain length, and it also has to be padded enough because people's knees might hit it.
Oh,
So
right.
there's something like that, or when it comes to like bumpers or certain things on chairs,
Yeah,
there's a initial point of contact. So whether
yeah.
that's higher or lower, it might need to be changed.
Okay.
So like yeah, just little things like
Interesting.
that. Those are usually like the two ones that you see most common.
Right. Okay. Things I did not know, and I appreciate that. Because it's all these like little random things that like would be normal to us, but then the listeners would be like, "What happens at the Olympics and the Paralympics?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. They check our helmets to make sure they're certified." So it only makes sense that they check your wheelchairs to make sure they're
Yeah, and
safe.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of aspect with that with any sport when it comes to equipment you're using
For sure,
within
for
the
sure.
rules, the
Okay.
guidelines. Yeah,
So you started, yeah, 100%, 100%. Especially at the Para Games and the Olympics, like they're kind of really on it. So you competed. Your first Para Games was Beijing, taking home the bronze medal. What was that first experience like? I remember my first games and I felt like super naive and I didn't know anything about the Olympics. Were you like a Paralympic fan or like did you know everything that was gonna happen?
I had no idea. I mean,
Thank you.
besides we had a pretty big group of veterans on the team who had been to
Okay.
like a couple games before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
just hearing their past experiences at games as far as, housing. Some guys
Mhm.
were in Sydney and Athens, and they're
Oh,
like, oh,
wow.
Sydney was great. And they're like, Athens was a nightmare. Nothing was ready. Right. So you kind of heard both sides of that, where it's like, oh, the condos were leaking in Athens, kind
Right.
of a little horror story like that. And then I mean, for me, it was just kind of taking everything in. You hear their stories, and then you get there, and you kind of, I guess, get a little guidance to what to expect. But it's really all new. They had no idea either, right?
Yeah.
And
It's
Beijing was it was a great games as far as like the apartments we were staying in. Right, the village was
mhm.
great. It had everything. It
Yeah.
was the food was good. Transportation was easy.
So
Um,
nice.
it was really good, and they had fans. The games were sold out. There was fans. The venue was nice. So I mean, as far as the first games experience, I think I was pretty lucky to have something that was organized and really took no negatives away
Yeah.
from it, right? And then
Yeah.
um, just yeah, really enjoyed that whole experience. My family came, my parents and my sister were there, and got to share that experience with them, and then some uncles and aunts came as well, and family friends. It was pretty neat.
When it comes to family in the stands, do you know where they're gonna be sitting, or do you, like, suss out where they are, or are you just like, "Game on, doesn't matter, whatever, I know they're here somewhere?"
Yeah, I'm probably the game on doesn't matter. I don't really look for anyone. I'm
You
pretty
focus.
focused when I'm playing,
Yeah.
and I know they're there, and they're also there to have fun. I think watching me is like the second part after having
No!
fun. I know my dad is the first guy to be in the beer garden making
Yes!
friends with everyone else there. So, they're having fun. Just hearing all their stories from outside the village or
I know,
just
don't you get
being
kinda
in.
jealous?
Oh, yeah, they were great. And I like my dad and I were able to share two games together where he was an equipment manager. So he, came in,
Oh.
was part of the team. We did the whole opening, closing ceremonies together.
Oh my
Um,
gosh!
yeah, so he
That is something
experienced.
else.
Yeah, and we got to share that. So that was London and Rio. So we got to do the
Wow.
whole games experience and all that. And after Rio, he was like, "I'm ready just to be a fan again. I want to drink beer and hang out with all the other family
Right, right,
because I
right.
think he felt like he was missing out.
Oh my gosh, that's so special. I wish that I could take my dad into the games with me. Though
Yeah, I
he's
would.
kind of like he's an organized freak when it comes to it. I felt bad for my family. I love him to pieces, but he was like, "We need to be here. We need to do this." And then I'm the kind of person that was like, "Where are they? I just need to know that they're here so that they can chill out a little."
Yeah. No, I was always. I'm gonna see him after the game anyways. So
Right.
yeah, but
That's
yeah, no,
funny.
he was kind of disappointed that he wasn't able to come to Tokyo. So
Oh, I
yeah,
mean, heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. And what a strange games for you it must have been.
it. I mean, granted, we're not always playing in front of packed houses.
Yeah.
When it comes to the games, yeah, of course they do. They've always all the games have done a great job of, promoting ticket sales, promoting Paralympic sport, and all that. So
Yeah.
we're usually playing in front of quite a few people, but it was weird to be in a giant stadium with no one there. It was quiet. You could hear everything. It was
Oh, so
it was weird at
different.
times. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I had, Trevor who is he captain of the sledge hockey team? McGregor?
Okay, yeah.
Trevor McGregor, and he was telling me how loud the sledge hockey can get, and he was like, "To have no one in the stadium," I was like, "That's gotta be, like, some kind of a game changer."
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, we got used to it, but
Yeah.
it was still funny. Yeah, you could hear everything.
Wow, and how were in Tokyo, they're, like, the nicest people ever. I love going to Japan. It was, like, one of my most favorite stops ever, on tour. Were the volunteers just the nicest humans in the world?
Oh, they were amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to be there, pre-COVID as well, and just
Okay.
experience the city. And it's
Ugh,
definitely one of my favorite places I've been
for
to
sure.
play
Yeah.
rugby, and definitely hoping to get back there as soon as possible. But yeah, the people are amazing. The volunteers are great. They were all so, helpful and happy. They were just, I think, again, like us, we were all happy to be playing sport again, right? Being
Yeah.
competitive, kind of having, a little taste of normalness again. And then
Being
for
able to
them,
play against other teams because that was a
exactly.
problem as well, right?
Yeah. And for them too, it was just, got to, be part of something so huge.
I know, I love it. I love the games. Um, when you, were training, how would you go about playing wheelchair rugby when during COVID, there was no teams to play against? Would you guys have extra people come in to play against you, or what was the deal there?
So when we had training camps, we would just expand, you
Your
know,
team.
the amount of people that we brought in.
Okay.
We usually roster 12 for games.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you're playing 4-on-4, you can get some kind of scrimmages out of that when we bring
Okay.
12, but we would extend it. We would bring up to 16 and just with those athletes be able to, you know, get game like competition in.
Yeah.
Obviously, not the same as playing against other teams, but still the best we could. But as I mentioned earlier, we did get into Japan. I think what was it in June? So a few months before the games. So
Oh,
we did go
yeah.
play Japan a couple. I think 6 times, four or 6 times while we were there.
Okay,
So we
that's
did get
nice.
some competition in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's awesome.
that was cool. That was weird experience too during COVID, where it was just we got in there, we were shuttled right to our hotel rooms. We had to stay in our hotel rooms until we were able to go eat, and then we got shuttled, like escorted to where we were eating, and escorted back to our hotel rooms, and then escorted to the gym to play, and then back. So it was a different experience, but I mean,
Especially if you've gone to ones before. That's what I was thinking, having gone to 4 games and this one being your 4th, you've experienced the excitement and all the people around, and to go into these ones, it's kind of I it's almost rude It sucks. It sounds like it sucks. But
It
then for
was
the
a
people that have never gone before, that's their first experience. They don't know any better.
Yeah, we had a couple people. It was their first experience.
Oh,
Um, but I
you're
mean,
like,
once we were in the village, it
yeah,
felt normal.
it did. Okay, good.
Like it
Because I was like thinking you'd
felt like
had
a
to be
normal
in your
games.
rooms. I thought you like,
No,
yeah,
yeah, it was pretty. You wore your mask. I
yeah,
mean, the dining hall, you just had like these little like
like plastic.
plexiglass cubbies you sat in, but you still sat with your team. You still did the whole thing where you stood in line, got your food. It was
Yeah.
all
Is it
it,
kind
wa-
of like jail? You just put your hand on the plexiglass?
exactly. Yeah,
Not that I've ever been to jail, but this is what I see in the movies.
yeah, yeah. No, and it still had all those the same things as the games, right? It had like your little international section where you can go get souvenirs and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It still had everything. It had, you know, yeah, it just had everything, and it felt like once you were in the village, it was a little more normal. Where once you
Which is
left, it
nice.
was more protocol. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And did you have to spit in the cup every day?
every day. Yeah,
Every day.
yeah,
That's better
every
than
day.
getting it shoved up your nose. The
Yeah, and
thingy.
it was again. They tried to make it as like easy as possible, right? So
Yeah.
um, we had somebody on our team who was that was their designated thing. So we
Spit
didn't have to. We
spit
didn't spit
spit
collector.
person.
Yeah, we didn't have to go do anything. We just spat in it and then
Yeah.
handed it off. We didn't have to deliver
Oh,
it
what a
anywhere.
job.
I
Who drew
know.
who drew the
Yeah,
short straw?
yeah, exactly.
The rookies on the team.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. It I guess it was what it was. Made the
Totally.
best of it.
Yeah.
I would love to see them get another games in the near future, just to
Right?
actually see the whole
Well,
episode.
they are going for 2030, but
Yeah,
so is Canada. So
I guess we'll see.
time will tell, my friends. Um, I do want to touch on your surfing. How, when, why?
Okay, so COVID happened 2020,
2020.
I guess.
Yeah.
Games got canceled or
Yeah.
postponed, and I was like on the island. Tofino's not far away, and a buddy of mine from Vancouver who surfs
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, I'm going surfing. Do you want to go?"
Okay.
And I
Have you
was like,
surfed
"Yeah."
before? Is this a
Have I
naive
surfed
question?
before?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. So
Okay.
this is my first time. So we
Okay.
kind of just started figuring it out for ourselves, and
I love it.
watch some videos on other like because within surfing there's classification again as well, kind of like
Yeah.
every adaptive sport. So
Mhm.
we found what kind of class I would fit into based on my function and
Yeah.
started surfing that way. So we did a long weekend in Tofino and got in the water like 6 times, did some surfing.
Wait, rewind. With your classification, does it specify the way that you're supposed to be on the surfboard? Or
Yeah,
does
so
everyone go on the surfboard the same way?
no, so when you go to like the world championships
Yeah.
for the adaptive surfing,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of classes. There's amputees and different amputees, and they would fit in classes. There's visually impaired and
Oh,
different visually impaired, yes. And then there's like kneeling,
yeah.
and then there's prone one, which is obviously you're laying on the board, but you're able
Yeah.
to paddle yourself into the waves.
Okay.
And then there's prone two, which is the category I'm in, where you're assisted into the waves. So
Oh,
you go
cool.
out and like someone helps you catch the wave, but then you are the one surfing the wave. So,
Oh, is it not the best feeling?
oh, it's awesome. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, but what about when you fall? If you fall into the water, what happens?
That's fine. Like I said, I'm comfortable in the ocean. I love the water.
Yeah.
So it's just like just ducking those waves.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
yeah, it's fun. It's
Mad
really fun.
respect. Mad
Yeah.
respect.
So
I feel like if I go out, I'm not a surfer. Like, I would never say I'm a surfer, but if I go paddle out, I could just sit on the surfboard and watch the waves because I don't understand the ocean.
I'm still learning. I would not even call myself a surfer. It's like something super new. Definitely something I want to get, you know, more into.
Yeah,
With rugby, full gear again. It's tough to find times to do both.
for sure, for
So
sure.
I'm trying to do as much as I can, but yeah, it's definitely something that I'm interested in pursuing here.
Well, you've already done a world championships, but when and where was that? That was in 2021.
Yeah, that was down in Pisno Beach in California.
Warm
So
water.
well, it wasn't that warm.
Oh, what month was it?
December, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, but I surfed at Fino, so I guess it's the
yeah, yeah.
same.
You got
But
it.
it was awesome. It was just great, amazing to see like all the countries there, all the
What was the
people
turnout
involved.
like? Was this like the one of the first ones? Why have I not heard of this
No,
before?
it's been going on for a while now. I
Okay,
don't
thanks
know
for
the
bringing it
exact.
in. Thank you for bringing it into my life because
Yeah, I
this
don't know the
sounds
exact
awesome.
number of times.
Mhm.
It's going to be in Pismo again in December this year.
No way.
Um, but yeah, just a really cool community. Everyone's super, inviting and
I
then again
believe
when it
it.
comes to like adaptive sports, trying to figure out equipment and what works for you and stuff. So,
Yeah.
the other surfers were super cool, answering questions, kind of showing me their boards and stuff like that, what works for them. And that was like a
So
big thing
rad.
going down there was just like trying to figure out like, what am I doing? How, like
Right.
trying to learn that. Yeah. But then I got to meet like other surfers in Canada, people who compete with the Canadian team, and it was a
Oh,
super friendly
yeah.
community. Yeah,
My trainer trains the Canadian team, Albie. Well,
yeah, I
my
know
old
Albie.
trainer. Oh,
Yeah,
I love him.
yeah, Albie.
He's
So Albie's awesome. I met Albie down there. He lives in Huntington Beach now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he was
So
there and then came up to Canada, and now he's back, I guess. It's
yeah, so I've been working. Well, I was working with Albie down there, and he's still part of the team. So yeah, it's
awesome.
super cool. Great guy.
Oh, see, we're such a good community. I
Yeah,
love Canada. Such a it's awesome. Oh, that makes my heart happy. Okay, for Paralympics, now potentially surfing as well, which is so rad. What's next for you? World Championships,
World
rugby.
Championships in October.
Yeah,
And then we got the games in Paris in 2024.
going for 5.
So yes, that's on my radar.
Yes.
And then I guess between Worlds and Paris is the Pan Am Games, the Parapan Am Games in Chile.
Where in Chile.
Yeah. So I
I
guess that's
again,
next fall. So next October or something around there.
okay. Again,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I chose the wrong, season sport because you guys get to go to, like, cool place. I go to Chile in the winter.
Yeah.
In their winter.
No, we get to travel some nice places. I can't
Yeah, that's
complain.
pretty rad. Awesome. Trevor, where can people find you online if they wanna follow you and watch what you're up to?
I have a Twitter account,
Cool.
so you can follow me there. I guess just search Trevor Hirschfield. I
Yeah.
really don't know what my handle is anymore. I got an Instagram account. I'm not too active, but I'm there.
Okay.
If you want to ask some questions or whatever, yeah,
Love it.
come
Well,
check me
thank you.
out.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. What a career to follow, and it just keeps going. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
So much for dropping in today. You can find everything you want to know about dropping in with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks DJ Kenosis for the music and my mom for the intro voice.